Awesome. Everybody's starting to check in now, so that's great. We're going to talk a little bit about the DTTs tonight, the digital table tents, and then we're also going to talk about what I've been doing in North Carolina this last few days. Actually, I think feels like 16 years, but I think it's been 2 days. Literally, since Sunday, I've had um, two, two, 2 hours sleep and probably 6,007 million calories. I've literally not stopped eating since I got here. Staying in like a presidential suite and the embassy suites. I mean, it's bigger than my house. It's unbelievable. I mean, this trip has been phenomenal. And I'm going to talk about it after we talk about the digital table tents. But thanks everybody for coming out. And what a great night it is. It's Wednesday night. It's absolutely beautiful here. The weather's been amazing on the East Coast. I'm just about as far east as I can possibly go, unless I walk out in the ocean and start swimming. So we're going to get started. First and foremost, welcome to Wednesday night training presented by the Appwizard studio team. Everybody back in the offices are always glad you're here, and it's always a pleasure to come to you live and in Technicolor. So let me go ahead and do this. If you have not joined our Facebook group, if you're here for the first time and you've never heard me say that or this, or if you're here for the 1 millionth time and you've heard me say it every single week and you've not done it, join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. Facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. A lot of great information that goes into that page, and especially if you're new, a lot of veterans that hang out in there and can help you and take you the direction that you need to go. And if you have not followed us on YouTube, go to Appwizard Studio. Just look for that little subscribe now icon with the little hand right in the middle of it, Appwizard Studio, and be a part of our live videos that are going on right now. We do everything live. When you come into the training on Zoom, it's automatically broadcasting live. We have a lot of people watch on YouTube. And so we're always there live on Wednesday nights. If you can't get into trainings here, always fall back to YouTube. You can always get on there. So real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you are watching training, you will make any money, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. Let's talk about the digital table tents for a minute. We had a chance to talk with David Schooley this past week on the digital table tents, and there's been a couple of changes. I know he's had some complaints and some problems with the website that they have on differentiation and prices and so forth. So they took down the page that was concerning everybody. But let me just explain something to you real quick. I know, and it's just the way it is. People are going to circumvent and try to go to the source. It's very easy to find the source since they're providing the back-end office. If you call David, you're not going to get a better deal than what we've negotiated with them on these digital table tents. For example, let me just use this one example. I'm not going to go deep into it. But for this example, if you go out and sell those ads to local businesses that go on those digital table tents, you do not get 100% of the money. With Appwizard Studio, what we negotiated is any non-national ads that go on the digital table tents, you receive 100% of that money. So if you go out and sell it for $450, to a business to advertise on those digital table tents, then that money belongs to you. You don't share it with David. It all goes to you. Now, if you go in and you call them, and you guys are welcome to do it if you want to, if you don't want to make any money and you want to do it your way, he's probably not going to bring you in, but you're not going to make that same amount of money. You're going to give up a percentage of that. Also, for those of you that are selling the $30 no ad digital table tents, he understands that, you're selling that direct. There's no ads to sell. There's no way to go out and make additional income. If you do that, they're going to give you 10% back. So if you go out and sell 10 of those, you'll basically make $30. Okay, $30 on residual. All right, so $30 a month. But I know some of you upsell the table tent. Some of you sell them for more than what the retail is, which is great. But you're also selling the entire package, the entire marketing package, the entire DTT system. And that's awesome if you do that. But know that you're not going to get a better deal than what was negotiated by Woodrow on this program. It's just not going to happen. So just be aware of that. And let me pull up the chat to see if anybody's asking any questions. Just be aware of that. It's not going to happen. So the DTT $30 version where you where a place of business would say, you know what? We don't want any other ads. We don't want any of that stuff on our digital table tents. We want only our ads. That's going to be the $30 version. You'll get $10 back. Now, if I was going to go in and sell a business, a place where they could do 20 ads for their own business, I wouldn't charge them $30. You know, I might go in there at $130, but I'm going to make my money. That's where you make money, guys. You have to think about this, and you have to think about it logically. Hang on just a second. Somebody's saying they still trying to get in. I don't know what's wrong with the thing tonight. A few seconds here. All right, we'll see if they can get in. But so anyway, think about how you set that up. Think about how you do that. And also you're selling the entire package. You're selling the mobile business cards. You're selling the texting packages. You're putting all that together as a system. And we'll talk about this a little bit more next week when I'm back at the Casa, and we'll make that happen. Is there a monthly fee for the back office per venue? No, there's not a monthly fee on the back office at all. You control that. You control their back office. There's not a charge for that at all for the venues. Absolutely not. The only thing they're paying for, only cost is the monthly table tent. And then whatever you're charging for texting, whatever you're charging for your mobile business card, whatever you're charging for all those things, that's your money. I mean, there's, now you can charge for their back office. You need to be charging for the graphics that you do. You need to be charging for all that stuff. I think this is the problem. This is the problem. Everybody thinks they have to go out cheap. Okay. If I don't go out and do it for X, Y, Z, oh my gosh, I will never make any money. Well, because I'm not going to make any sales. It's just the opposite. If you go out cheap, you're not building in any value and you're not going to make any sales. Just because you're the cheapest guy on the block doesn't mean somebody's going to buy from you. You have to be the greatest value. You give great value to your clients and your customers. You don't have to worry about being the cheapest guy on the block. If you go in and make sure that customer is taken care of, let me give you a prime example. There's a young guy by the name of Philip, and I was just down talking to his boss earlier when I was downstairs, here at the hotel. He was the NBC suite when we walked in this place. He's absolutely amazing. He's a young entrepreneur. He's on fire. He's going to college. He follows Grant Cardone. He follows Russell Brunson. He follows Frank Kern. He follows all these big time guys because he wants to be in real estate, and he wants to get out of school, and he wants to be an entrepreneur. He wants to do all those things. So we obviously hit it off very well. Michael Penny and I, when we checked in, we must have took us an hour to check in just talking to this kid. It was so exciting. It was so much fun, and we enjoyed him so much. And so when we got finished talking to him, he was the Embassy Suites. Okay. He wasn't here last night. I'll be honest with you. I missed seeing him. I missed not being able to talk to him. So he's here tonight, and I went down and I told his boss, I said, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I said, I know this guy's not hanging around for the long haul. And he's not hanging around for the long haul. But this is the kind of people you need in this establishment because he is the Embassy Suites. I said, he made my stay here before I ever got here. If your customers feel that way, if your customers feel that way, then they will never leave you and they don't mind paying. You know, we could have stayed at the Best Western next door probably for half the money, but would the stay have been as good? Probably not. Why? Because Philip isn't over there. The guy made us feel like, that we walked in as the president. Am I right, Mike? I mean, gosh, man, this dude treated us absolutely amazing. You have to do the same thing for your customers. If you don't, they're going to go to somebody else, and they don't mind paying for customer service. And if they don't mind paying for customer service, why did you let it slip out of your hands? That's what it's all about, paying for customer service. People do not mind paying for that. So quit cheapening. I don't know if that's a word. Quit cheapening. Quit undervaluing your product. Okay. Quit undervaluing your product. Sit down, put 40% on it. Okay. Put 40% gross profit margin on it. We've talked about this several times. And then go in and sell it. And if you're sitting there walking away with 20, 25%, you're going to be in the driver's seat. Okay. You're going to be in the driver's seat. I don't know what your margins are, and I don't know what your cost is. Sit down and figure out your cost and go in there. And if it's $30, go in there and mark it up $12 and you're in good shape. Okay. You're going to make money. You're going to make a great recurring revenue. I don't do anything less than 40%. Yeah, 40%. I tell you what, there's an app. I've said this before. Hang on a second. It's the app I use for everything. Called, I can never find it when I need it because it's covered up with something. It's called, can somebody type it in what it's called that I've told you guys several times? I think it's on my iPhone. It's called Cost Margin. Okay, it's called Cost Margin, and it's Marcus Lemonis' app that he created. It's called Cost Margin. Guys, that is my go-to app for everything because within seconds, I know what my margins are, I know what my markup is, and I know what my profits are. In seconds. So download that app, Cost Margins, and it's Marcus Lemonis. He's the one that does, what's the show? On The Profit. He's the Profit. Okay. And that's how you can figure your profits. I'm a firm believer in this. If I can't make 40% gross margin, I ain't doing it for nobody because I'm not working for free. If I wanted to work for free, I would start a nonprofit and I would give everything back for charity. That's what I would do. But you're in business. And if you want to make, 6 figures this year, you want to make 7 figures this year, then you've got to figure out what your profit margin needs to be. 40% for internet e-commerce style products, okay, for digital products is about 40%. Unless you go out and create a software, then it's about 60%. All right. Does everybody get that? Everybody follow that? Everybody on board with that? Awesome. Awesome. Ad sales on the digital table tent. We just talked about this just a second ago. You get 100% of the non-national sales. And this is something you need to think about. Now, you need to think about a couple of things on these digital table tents. All right. If you go out and start building an ad network, you're going to have to start thinking about bringing on sales reps. Does everybody understand that? You have to start thinking about growth with this immediately to be able to go out and do the things that you need to do when it comes to growth. Because if you go out and start building a network and you're going to put 100 table tents out there and you're going to go out and do sales for those table tents and you're going to start putting those ads together and you're going to start doing the graphics and you're going to start doing all those things, it's really going to be hard to manage 100 accounts. That's the bottom line. If you're going to do that with something of this magnitude that has a profit margin that's probably more than you could probably get 60% on the whole package. But for something this large, you need to think about this and think serious about it. How am I going to build a sales force around what I do as I start to grow? Because you get 10 customers and they're changing ads frequently, and you have to do that, guess what you just did? You shut down your sales force because you are your sales force. And so as you get going and you start doing this, because ad sales need to be done if you want to make sales, if you want us to make a profit and margins on those sales to other businesses, whether it be $89 or $189, whatever that is. So the only way you're going to make money, okay, is to be able to do that. All right. Does everybody understand that? This is it could be a very extremely fast growth process. And if that's the case, you have to be prepared for that growth in order to cover and take care of all of those things. All right. Everybody got it? Awesome. Awesomeness. Let's talk about what I'm doing in North Carolina. And we're going to go a little bit deeper next week. We are actually writing a training on this. Michael Penny, who is with me now in North Carolina, he's actually from this area. He and Reese Sutton, okay, set up these chamber meetings, one in Elizabethtown and one in Wilmington, North Carolina, about 60, 70 miles apart, something like that. And, but she started working on this about 3 months ago. Okay. She's a rep, and he's my partner. And, you know, we put these things together, and we build these meetings up, and we go out and we share about mobile marketing and digital marketing and those things. That's what we do. Okay. We brought a half a dozen computers in here. We hook up to big screen TVs. They feed us about 67 times a day, and that's a lot. I've never ate so much food in my entire life. We get to hang out in very nice hotels, and they take very good care of you. And you come in and you do these meetings. Okay. Now, for you, because it's you, you're going to take care of this yourself, and you don't really need to get a hotel, and you're probably going to eat at home, so you don't have to worry about those expenses. But what you're going to do is you're going to do this exactly the same way that they set these meetings up for me to fly in and come do them. And this is the first thing that needs to happen, and it's called Google Local Reviews, Local Guides, Google Local Guides. Okay. And what you do is you start going around to all of these businesses, giving reviews on their local guides, and you put your own tag at the bottom of them, linking your website or whatever it is that you're doing, your mobile business cards or your DTTs and those kind of things. And you start getting a lot of traction, and they start getting a lot of traction. Those reviews, I don't know if anybody's ever done a review. I happen to be in Hunt County. The number, and everybody probably going to say, yeah, we know that. I'm like the #1 reviewer of restaurants in Hunt County. I could literally start a food blog. I mean, I got a deal from Google the other day that said my picture views on this one restaurant was #1. You know, I'm the #1 picture viewer in this restaurant. Well, I will be honest with you. I did not know a lot about that until I came here. And because we have brainstorming meetings every day, how that actually worked, and what I was doing was actually a good thing to build my business, with the exception of I wasn't tagging on the bottom of that. It's called Google Local Guides. You can Google it and go right to it. Okay. It's where you do the review pages. And what happens is you can go in there and put information in, and I'm going to go deeper into this next week. Okay. We're going to go deeper into this next week, but it's called Google Local Guides. And we've really learned a lot about the chambers. Okay. We really learned a lot. Is there a monthly fee for the back office? Oh, I've already answered that question. Sorry about that. We really learned a lot about chambers. Okay. A whole lot. And there's many things that you have to know about chamber meetings and how they're set up and how they work. And, you know, that's what you need to learn. And I'm going to go walk through all this, but I'm going to just walk through some quick notes real quick. You know, you have to know if they have a place for you to go and hold the meeting. You have to know if there's any cost involved. You have to know if you can access the chamber list. You have to know when their regular meetings are and when they invite guests in. We learned that that's the most important thing today that you can do is if they invite guests in. We did one in Elizabethtown yesterday. Okay, Elizabethtown yesterday. And what happened is they promoted this thing really well. They did an absolutely phenomenal job. And Dawn, the event coordinator, told us that it was the largest event they had ever had. And they had never had someone come in and do a meeting like we did. Now, you guys hear me talk about these statistics and everything all the time about mobile marketing and all this stuff. So we asked questions to get the feel of the room. Guess what? Only about 10% of the room had a website and our mobile apps. 10%. Only one person in the room out of 52 people, there was no seats left. It was completely full. Out of 52 people, only one person had an e-commerce site. Remember I talked about Eastwood the other night? You know, with Eastwood, you can go in and literally set up a 10 SKU e-commerce site for free. You know, and we went through and I showed you exactly how to do that, you know. Hang on just one second. Someone else is trying to get in. Tell them to go to the page. And so you have to know those things. And we're going to go into this in depth, you know, and you need to find out if they have a speaker slot. Do they have a special day, a special time when someone can come in and speak? You need to prepare a slide presentation because they're going to give you the opportunity to broadcast it over a big screen. The place today had an absolute phenomenal big, I don't know, 80, that's had to have been 70 or 80 inches, huh? 80 inches, easy. Big touch screen that we were able to present in front of, reach up and touch it, called a live board, electronic whiteboard. And literally I could write on it. It was absolutely phenomenal. They said it was about $11,000 worth. And it was really cool. But the most important thing you have to do is you have to do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you're pretty much going to take it in the shorts. You need to make sure and you need to work out the chamber meeting, the chamber cost. We found out that some chambers really want you to join in order to present. What you want to do is you want to go in and see if you can make a deal with them because you're going to bring in a lot of non-chamber members and you're going to bring them in and they're going to do what? They're going to join the chamber and or you can promote the chamber and let them know that you can do that. You need to know the area, okay? You really need to know the area. And if you don't know the area, you need to get out and learn the area. You need to talk to people. Literally, Ree went out and shook hands and invited everybody in that town to this meeting, all the business owners. And hang on. So you need to get out and you need to meet the people. You need to invite them personally. She did a phenomenal job in doing that, okay? Is there a room? Is there a room there or do they use another place? If you invite someone in to do the meetings for you, for example, if you called me and said, hey, Carrie, we'd really like for you to come out and do a meetings for us. Is the hotel convenient to the meeting space? You know, is it where the person that you invite in that could be shuttled back and forth and that person has accommodations? And make a list. If you're from the area, make a list of all the people you know. You know, when I was talking to Dawn yesterday, I was asking her about speakers. You know, first off, they never had a speaker come into town to talk to them about anything. And no one actually came in there and talked to them about increasing sales, building their business using today's technology to do that. No one had ever come to do that. Do y'all hear what I'm saying now? No one is doing what you can do, you know? And what we did was, or what Ree and Michael did was, is they went in and told them that we have a way to help all of your business partners grow their business. And it was a huge, huge, huge thing because they're like, oh, yes, absolutely. We want someone coming in. We want an expert coming in. We want to bring them in to teach our people how to do this. Okay. And it was amazing. They had a dinner. They had a nice lunch. That was one of the times I ate. I ate after the presentation, but they had baked chicken and green beans and potatoes and rolls and tea and peach cobbler. It was a huge spread that they put on for this thing. And it was one of their, they set up the meeting. They invited everybody. They went out and shook hands, kissed babies, but it was phenomenal. Okay. 40% of the room bought. Did everybody just hear that? I want everybody to say yes if you just heard what I said. 40% of the room bought. Can everybody hear me? I want you to think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. You need to really think about reaching out in a big way. Doing this and figuring out how to do it. And I'm going to teach you how to do it over the next couple of weeks. Okay. It's really cool. All right. Everybody get it? The local guide review thing, start looking at that after tonight's training. All right. And you want to you want to talk to, and you want to get in front of the executive director of the chamber, the person that actually sets up the meetings. You got to get past the gatekeeper. And the best way to do that is to let them know, hey, I have a way to help all of your business partners grow their business. All right. Some of them may say, hey, we want you to pay. If they want you to pay, and we'll talk about this next week after I put all this together, just from all the notes that we've taken here. I've got a whole book of notes. We'll talk about this next week and exactly how to do this. And it's going to be awesome. So do not miss next week's training. All right. Do not miss next week's training. We're going to have a complete layout of how to get into the local guide reviews, how to do that, how to tag them on the bottom, how to tag your businesses. They actually got calls here just from tagging the businesses, saying, hey, man, could you come in and show us what you have? Because you're driving a lot of traffic just with your review. All right. Does everybody get it? Any questions at all? We're not going to have a long meeting tonight. I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm flying out of here. But I wanted to share these notes with you and tell you about the digital table tents and get everything set up for that. And we're going to be flying out in the morning. I'll be back in Texas about 10 in the morning. And we're going to put all this together on the chamber meetings, how to do it. And we're going to do a complete walkthrough. Tell you how to set these up next week, step by step. We're going to go step 1 through 30 or whatever it is. All right. Any questions at all? Does everybody want to learn how to do the chamber meetings? Let me ask that question because we want to give you the training that you want. Does anybody here want to learn how to do the chamber meetings? You bet. You bet. Guys, let me tell you, I will tell you real quick. I speak all the time, but my anxiety still gets high. I still get nervous. I still get scared, but at the end of the day, you're doing a great service to everyone. Awesome. Then if you guys want it, we'll definitely do it next week. It'll be a great training for you. And I'm telling you, now it took them about 3 months to set this up because I was flying out. They set up 2 meetings. I started Monday when I got here, and literally I got back here at 8 o'clock tonight. Okay, 8 o'clock East Coast time. So, and fly out at 7 in the morning. And it's been nonstop, but it's been the most amazing experience. And I always tell you guys, I'm not going to teach you something unless I know exactly what I'm talking about. And this experience, I've spoke to thousands and thousands of people in my lifetime, but going in and doing this particular thing, introducing a particular product and a particular item like SMS, how to drive footfall, how to get rid of the product that's in the back of the store, all of those things. Well, it was amazing. And to see the people, and this will blow your mind. The one person that had the e-commerce store that was doing it right, that was building the funnel, that was building the list, that was doing all that stuff, she owned a boat company. She sold boats and boat parts. And she said that her son told them, Mom, Dad, you need to get online. You're missing a lot of sales. Anybody want to guess, and just throw a number up here? Anybody want to guess what percentage of their sales come from online now? 100% used to come out of their store. Anybody want to guess how much comes out of their offline now? Their sales. And let me also add that they're selling all over the world. They're not just selling in Elizabethtown to all the lake people around here. They're selling all over the world. Does anybody want to guess what that number is? Somebody just throw a number up. I'm just anxious to see what you say. Everybody's afraid. 50%. That's about 30% shy. They've increased their sales 80% online. So they're still doing 100% of sales in their 100% of sales in their store that they were always doing. And they've added 80% offline. Is that crazy or what? So, yeah. How would you like to increase your sales by 80%? How does everybody on here like to increase their sales by 80%? We did 40% yesterday. We did 100% of the room today. But we increased our sales 140% just in 2 days, for 2 days, by just coming out talking to 2 chambers. I mean, if you don't want to learn how to do that, then keep doing what you're doing. But I think it's a pretty cool thing being able to do that. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody. I'll be catching a plane here in about 7 hours. And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We're going to have a great training. Absolutely, Tom. Thank you. We're going to have a great training on chamber meetings. We're going to go from step 1 all the way through whatever the final step is. I got a whole book of notes. We're going to put that together. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, how to go in and build it. I interviewed Ree for about 5 hours yesterday on exactly the steps that she took, exactly what she did, and everything she did to be able to make this happen. So everybody have a great night. Good night. God bless. And I will see you next Wednesday right here on Wednesday Night Training.